You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That one sentence changed my life. Most people are chasing results, but ignoring the root. They want better without becoming better. They want more without doing more. But here's the truth. Getting what you want starts with becoming the kind of person who deserves it. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. If you're tired of wishing, hoping, waiting, and you're ready to design your life instead of just react to it, then you're in the right place. Let's talk about how to get whatever you want, not by chance, not by luck, but by choice. Let me begin with something simple but profound. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. See, that's the truth most people ignore. Life is happening to them, not because of them. They get up, go to work, come home, and repeat. Year after year, never stopping to ask, what do I really want? And that's where it all begins. Clarity. Because without clarity, there's no direction. And without direction, there's no progress. And if you're not making progress, you're falling behind. Let me say it this way. The first step to getting what you want is knowing what that is. Sounds simple, right? But most people never do it. They say, I just want to be happy. I say, great. Define it. Because if you can't define it, you can't pursue it. And if you don't pursue it, you'll settle for anything. So here's a question that changed my life, and I hope it changes yours. What do you want? Not what someone else wants for you. What do you want? Ask it slow. Ask it deep. Ask it until your answers start getting real. Do you want more income? How much? Do you want more time? Time to do what? Do you want better health? What does that look like? Don't answer with vague wishes. Answer with vivid goals. Because vague goals produce vague results. But clear goals pull you like a magnet. Most people are drifting, going with the current, letting the wind decide where they end up. But here's what I learned. You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction. And how do you change direction? By deciding. Deciding what kind of life you want. What kind of person you want to be. What kind of impact you want to leave. That's the beginning of everything. Don't just work harder, work towards something. Let me give you a little secret. Don't just think about your goals, write them down. Goals. There's no telling what you can do when you get inspired by them. There's no telling what you can do when you believe in them. And there's no telling what will happen when you act upon them. Or write them down. There's magic in the written word. When you take your dream and put it on paper, you make it real. It's no longer a fantasy. It becomes a target, and targets can be hit. Be specific. Be honest. Be bold. Don't be afraid to want more. Don't be afraid to say, I want to double my income. I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to start a business. I want to become a millionaire. I want to make my family proud. I want to find peace, purpose, joy. Whatever it is, define it. And once it's clear, it becomes real. Let me challenge you with this thought. Imagine it's 5 years from now and your life is exactly the way you want it. What do you see? Where are you living? What are you doing? How do you feel? Describe it in detail. Make it vivid. Make it alive. Because the clearer that picture becomes, the more your mind starts to believe it's possible. And once the mind believes, it begins to create. Do this simple exercise. Take 30 minutes today. Just 30 minutes. Go somewhere, quiet pen. Bring a notebook. And ask yourself, what do I want financially? What do I want in my relationships? What do I want in my health? What do I want spiritually? What do I want in my lifestyle? Right until the page is full. And then read it again and again until it becomes part of you. That's how clarity works. It moves from your head to your heart to your hands. You don't have to settle for a life you didn't choose. You don't have to drift through years wondering what happened. You can start designing today Because once you decide what you really want, you begin the journey to becoming the kind of person who can get it. Don't set your goals too low. If you don't need much, you won't become much. So dream big, write it down, and let that clarity become your compass. This is how it begins. This is how you get whatever you want. You know, when I started this journey, I had to come to terms with something real. If you want something you've never had, you've got to become someone you've never been. It doesn't happen by accident. And it sure doesn't happen without a price. There's a cost to everything in life. Not always in money, but in time, in energy, in attention, and most of all, in discipline. Now that word, discipline, it sounds tough, sounds like sacrifice, sounds like hard work. And it is. But let me tell you something, discipline is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, everything collapses. With it, anything becomes possible. See, I used to hope that motivation would carry me through. That inspiration would show up every morning and push me into action. But inspiration is a visitor, discipline is a resident. Discipline is what gets you up when the bed feels too warm. Discipline is what makes you open the book instead of scrolling your phone. Discipline is what takes the dream and gives it structure. Discipline turns hope into habit. And here's what I learned. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Not talent, not opportunity, not even education. Discipline. It's easy to set a goal. Anyone can do it. But to show up every day consistently in silence when no one is watching, that's the price. And most people don't want to pay it. They want the outcome, but not the process. They want the reward, but not the effort. But you can't cheat the system. Success won't go on sale. It's full price every day. Let me tell you a little secret, the price must always be paid in advance. Not after, not when it's convenient, not when you feel like it. You pay now so you can live later. You sacrifice early so you can celebrate longer. You delay pleasure so you can build freedom. But here's the thing, the price is never too high if the goal is worth it. If the goal is strong enough, the pain becomes manageable. If the dream is clear enough, the effort becomes fuel. If the vision is vivid, the discipline becomes devotion. But if you haven't decided what you want, then every bit of work feels like punishment. That's why clarity comes first. Then discipline becomes meaningful. You know what else I discovered? Discipline is not just about doing hard things. It's about doing the right things. Not just busy work, but the essential work. Reading when you could be relaxing. Writing when you'd rather be talking. Planning your week when your friends are partying. Making that extra call. Doing that one more rep. Finishing the task you promised yourself, even when nobody's looking, because you made a promise to yourself. And discipline means you keep it. You know, a man once asked me, Jim, how do I change my life? And I said, one discipline at a time, not all at once, but not overnight, but daily. Start small, stay steady, build momentum, because success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Miss a day, get back up, slip, stand taller tomorrow, because the goal is progress, not perfection. It's not about being the most talented, it's about being the most committed. And the world steps aside for the man or woman who refuses to quit, who pays the price again and again, because the dream is too important to ignore. Let me be honest with you. Discipline is not easy, but regret is much harder. Regret is looking back and realizing you never gave your best, that you didn't stay consistent, that you didn't follow through. Regret lasts forever, but discipline only lasts until the result shows up. And when it does, when the results come in, the sacrifice starts to feel like a gift. The pain becomes pride. The struggle becomes your story. And it's a story worth telling. So whatever it is you want, more freedom, more income, more impact. Just remember, you won't get it for free. You'll pay for it. But here's the good news. You're worth the price. So pay it. Gladly. With discipline as your guide. Because once you've paid the price, the rewards are yours. And no one can take them from you. Let me ask you a simple question. Who are you spending your time with? Think about it. Not casually, not in passing, but seriously, thoughtfully. Because here's the truth. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, that's not just a nice quote for a poster. That's a law. Like gravity. It works whether you believe in it or not. And if you're not careful, you'll catch yourself becoming someone you never intended to be. See, when I was young and broke, I didn't just need new goals. I didn't just need new books. I needed new people. Because I was associating with folks who didn't care about growth. People who complained more than they created. They were always broke, always behind, always blaming someone else. And the worst part, it started to rub off on me. Negativity is contagious. So is apathy. So is procrastination. Hang around people who do nothing. And pretty soon, you'll do nothing. But here's the good news. So is excellence. So is ambition. So is discipline. That's why I say, don't join an easy crowd. You won't grow. Go where the expectations are high. You see, the people around you are either pulling you up or dragging you down. There is no neutral ground. Every conversation, every environment, it's shaping you, molding you, influencing you. If you're always the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If you're always the most motivated one in your group, it's time to find a new group. Because success is not just about what you do. It's about who you become. And who you become is heavily influenced by who you're around. Spend time with confident people, you'll become more confident. Spend time with readers, you'll start reading more. Spend time with people who hold themselves accountable, and suddenly, excuses won't feel so comfortable anymore. Now, I'm not saying you have to cut everyone off, but I am saying you have to be intentional. You need to evaluating, is this person helping me grow or holding me back? Are they feeding my dreams or starving them? Some people belong in your memories, not in your future. Some friendships are for a season, not for a lifetime, and that's okay. Because when you change your circle, you change your standards. And when your standards change, everything changes. You begin to demand more from yourself. You start aiming higher. You start expecting more from your life. That's the power of association. I remember the first time I sat down with a millionaire, not to ask for money, but to study his mindset, to observe how he thought, to see how he carried himself. And let me tell you, being around someone who lives at a higher level will challenge every excuse you've ever made. That man didn't complain about Monday mornings. He didn't waste time gossiping. He didn't wonder if success was for him. He knew it was, and he acted accordingly. That conversation changed me. And it didn't come from a textbook. It came from association. Now, maybe you're thinking, Jim, I don't know anyone like that. That's okay. Start with books. Start with videos. Start with audio. Mentorship doesn't have to be in person. It just has to be intentional. You can learn from great minds even if you never meet them. You can feed your spirit with wisdom instead of wasting your time on drama. You can surround yourself with greatness by choosing what you allow into your mind. And eventually, when you raise your standard, your circle will rise to meet it. You'll attract better people because you'll become a better person. So here's your assignment: audit your associations. Get honest. Get serious. Who are you around? What are they doing to you? What have they got you reading? What have they got you listening to? What have they got you becoming? Because it matters. You can't fly with eagles if you're hanging out with turkeys. You can't live at level 10 when your environment is stuck at level 3. Change your environment and you change your life. So today, right now, make the decision that you will only allow people in your life who lift you up, people who challenge you to grow, people who believe in excellence, people who speak life, not excuses. Because in the end, it's not just about what you want, it's about who you become. And who you become is shaped by who you're with. So choose wisely, because you're worth it. Let me tell you something, and I want you to really listen to this. Success is not something you chase. It's something you attract. by the person you become. Now, that's not just a clever line. That's a principle, a law, a fact that I've learned through decades of personal growth, trial, and error. Too many people are running around breathless, chasing success. They're chasing money, chasing recognition, chasing titles, chasing opportunities. But here's the truth: if you're chasing success, you're doing it all wrong. You cannot pursue success. Success is something you attract, but you attract it in the most powerful way, by becoming valuable. Let me ask you a simple question. What value are you bringing to the world right now? I remember when I was young and I had big dreams. I wanted success. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted to make an impact. But like many, I was doing everything the wrong way. I was trying to find shortcuts, hoping to somehow stumble across the lucky break. I was chasing, and chasing. But the moment I realized something crucial, that success wasn't something to chase, it was a light bulb moment. It was the turning point. What I learned is this: the marketplace doesn't pay for effort. The marketplace doesn't reward time. The marketplace doesn't even reward hard work. It rewards value. And how do you create value? You don't chase it. You become it. You see, there's a law that works in the world, whether we acknowledge it or not, the law of attraction. Now, I'm not talking about some fluffy, feel-good idea of manifestation. I'm talking about the real law of attraction, which says that you attract what you put out into the world. If you put out negativity, guess what? You attract negativity. If you put out half-hearted effort, you'll attract the same. But if you put out excellence, if you build your skills, if you invest in your personal development, then you'll start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances. But here's where people get it wrong. They chase money. But money is just a byproduct. It's the result of becoming a person of value. They chase recognition. But recognition is earned when you do the work, day in and day out, not by chasing applause. They chase opportunities. But opportunities are the result of being in the right place, doing the right things, and developing the right reputation. So, let's get this straight. Don't chase success. Instead, become the kind of person success is attracted to. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Jim, that sounds good, but how do I actually do that? Well, it starts with understanding this: you are your greatest asset, not your job, not your business, not your circumstances. You. And the best investment you can make is in you. That means working on your skills, sharpening your mind, improving your character, building your discipline. And it means doing it every day without fail. Because here's the delg: you will only attract what you deserve. And what you deserve is based on the value you bring to the world. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you deserve. If you want more money, don't chase it. Become more valuable. If you want better relationships, don't chase people. Become a person worth being around. If you want to attract opportunities, don't wait for the phone to ring. Become the kind of person opportunities find irresistible. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about doing the work day after day, hour after hour, even when no one's looking. And here's the kicker: you don't need to chase success when you're building something real. When you focus on growing yourself, success will naturally follow. People will seek you out. Opportunities will knock on your door. You'll become a magnet for what you want. But how do you do that? First, you need to ask yourself, am I working on myself more than I'm working on my job? Because that's where the difference lies. You see, many people work hard in their jobs, but they don't work hard on themselves. And there's a big difference. You can work at a job for 40 years, but if you're not growing as a person, you won't see much change in your life. But when you focus on personal development, on becoming the best version of yourself, everything else will begin to fall into place. Now, I'm not saying success doesn't take action. It does. But it's not frantic, desperate action. It's focused action. It's action rooted in growth. It's intentional. You must become the kind of person who is valuable in the marketplace. You must be the one people turn to because they know you can solve their problems, help them grow, and add value to their lives. And when you do this, success will stop being something you chase. It will become something that chases you. You see, life isn't about running after success. It's about running toward value. And when you create value, you create success. Not just for yourself, but for others as well. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about seeking fame or accolades. It's not about becoming a self-help guru or posting your success for everyone to see. It's about making a difference. It's about becoming a person of integrity, character, and competence. It's about living a life that attracts success without needing to chase it. So let me ask you again, what value are you bringing to the world? If the answer is, I don't know, or not much, then it's time to change that. Start today. Invest in yourself. Become a person who solves problems. Become a person who gives more than they take. Become a person who does the little things right, even when it's not easy. And success will follow. It will follow you naturally, effortlessly, because you're no longer chasing it. You're becoming it. Let me tell you something that might surprise. Your success is not about doing extraordinary things. No. It's about doing ordinary things extraordinarily well and doing them consistently. You see, most people are looking for the big breakthrough. They're looking for the secret, the magic formula, the one big event that will change everything. But the truth is, success is a collection of small things done consistently over time. Think about it. The key to success doesn't lie in the giant leaps you take every now and then. It lies in the small, steady steps you take every single day. It's the little things, the things that don't look spectacular, that add up to a successful life. You don't have to do everything right all at once. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a big moment to define you. What you need is to do the simple things well, and to keep doing them over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are looking for that breakthrough moment. They wait for the right opportunity to knock on their door, but it never comes. And they wonder when they're stuck in the same place. But here's the thing, success isn't about waiting for the moment. It's about making every moment count. You see, it's the little things that matter. It's the small decisions you make every day that will ultimately shape your destiny. And you might be tempted to think they don't matter, but they do. Every single day. I'll give you a simple example. Imagine you're trying to get in shape. If you go to the gym for one intense session, it's not going to change your life. You won't be transformed in one day. But if you go consistently, day after day, week after week, you'll see progress. You'll begin to see changes you never thought possible. Not because of the intensity of one workout, but because of the consistency of many. Success is like that. It's not about the big things. It's about showing up, day after day, doing the small things right. You can take this principle and apply it anywhere in your life. Take your career, for example. You might think getting a promotion requires some big, bold action. But what if the key to success at your job was simply doing the simple things consistently? What if showing up early, doing your work with excellence, and treating others with respect was the key? What if doing your job well, day in and day out, was all you needed? That's the power of consistency. It's not flashy, but it works. It's not about the one big thing. It's about doing the simple things, the things you can control, over and over again. Most people overestimate the importance of big, dramatic actions, and they underestimate the importance of consistency. But the people who get ahead are the ones who do the little things, day after day. They understand that success doesn't come from occasional acts of brilliance. It comes from the small, deliberate choices made consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Let me tell you about something I learned from my mentor, Earl Schaff. He said, "You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great." And what he meant was this: it's not about making a grand entrance. It's about getting started, taking small, consistent actions, and over time you'll see the results. Look, this is not complicated. Success isn't built on one big lucky break. It's built on a foundation of small, consistent actions, doing the simple things over and over again. Now, this might sound easy, but it's harder than it seems because it requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires that you stay committed, even when you don't feel like it. And it requires that you trust in the process. Too many people give up too soon. They try something for a week, a month, maybe even a year. But when the big results don't show up immediately, they quit. But the key to success is to keep going, keep showing up, keep doing the simple things, even when you don't see the results right away. Think of a farmer. He plants the seed, waters it, takes care of it. But the harvest doesn't come overnight. It takes time. But he knows that if he's consistent, if he does the work day after day, season after season, the harvest will come. And so it is with your life. The small things you do consistently will eventually pay off. Here's the simple truth: success is boring. It's not glamorous. It's not filled with excitement or drama. It's doing the same things over and over and doing them well. That's it. And this is where most people get it wrong. They want the fireworks, the flashy moments. They want the spotlight. But success is found in the quiet moments, the simple, mundane moments. Success is found in the discipline of getting up early. It's found in the commitment to finish what you start. It's found in the small choices that add up to big results. So, I ask you, what small thing can you do today that will move you closer to the life you want? What little habit can you start today that will make a difference tomorrow? What can you do consistently that will eventually lead to the success you desire? I promise you, the magic doesn't happen in the one big moment. It happens in the little moments, the small, consistent actions. If you want to succeed, just remember these: success is doing the simple things over and over again. And when you commit to that, success will be inevitable.